Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Joe Betterman with Broker 360, and today we're going to be walking through how to use the app and all of the benefits that are currently built into the app. Now, again, my name is Joe Betterman. I am the creator of this app, and we are continuously making improvements and taking user feedback to make it better and better. So if you have any suggestions, please feel free to reach out. You can reach out in the settings. There's a phone number listed there at the bottom. And so without further ado, we're going to jump into it on how to efficiently use the app when you are in the field working with clients. So the first thing that we're going to be covering is the activity page of the app. Now, this is going to be your home screen. And what I'll do here is I will open up the app on my phone, and you'll be able to see here how at the bottom, you have a button that says Start Your Day. And when you're about to go out into the field, you will simply just click Start Your Day and click Let's Go. And if you scroll down, you'll be able to see all of the different activity logging indicators. What this is meant to do is to help us keep track of our activity and our numbers when we're in the field. Because it's like we always say here at NASB, if you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. And this is an efficient way to quickly keep track of the most important activity numbers. And so it's pretty simple here. On the phone, you have your knocks, which is just simply knocking on a door, right? Then you have your approaches, which is if you speak with somebody, that's an approach, whether it's at a senior center or at a door. As long as you're talking with somebody, that is an approach. If you get into a house and you do a presentation, that would be a presentation. And then if you get to an in and up where you're calling up to your manager, farther on in the presentation, that would be an in and up. And you can see when you enter in, for example, a presentation, it also adds an approach and a knock automatically to your numbers. And then if you T-knock or talk to a neighbor or somebody who's not the lead, you can click a plus to the T-knock. And that way you can just see how much you are actually T-knocking at the end of a day. And so it's pretty simple here. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to have this tracker open on your phone in between doors. So you would have the lead either printed out or on your iPad, however you prefer. And then you would have your phone open to your activity tracker so that you can quickly log that different activity in between doors. So then the next thing we're going to cover is your presentation when you get into the house, and we're going to switch over to the iPad for that. So now we've entered into the house with the client, and you're talking with Ms. Johnson, going through step one, which is connecting. And we are going through family, occupation, recreation, and transitioning into why you are there. So what I just like to say is, Ms. Johnson, I could talk to you all day, but I want to actually get into why I'm here. I want to show you a couple things first really quick. And so what you can do here on the app on your iPad is you can click presentation. And you'll see here at the top, the step one connect button shakes. And so you can tap on that and you'll see that it preloads your information. Now, this is going to be a replacement of your binder. So you can actually upload and arrange the order of your different presentation slides. Now, we automatically upload the Better Business Bureau certificate, and you can upload images, videos, or PDFs to this section. So you can do short videos of, your kids or your dog or whatever it is that you use to connect with Ms. Johnson, as well as, like I said, images and PDFs. And so going back into the presentation, I would just say, Ms. Johnson, I want to show you a couple of things here, and I like to turn it. So first of all, this is my state license. I'm licensed by the entire state of Illinois, and the company I work for and who these benefits are through is North American Senior Benefits, and we're accredited by the Better Business Bureau. The reason why I'm out here helping families just like yourself is because I have a family. This is my beautiful wife, Michelle, and she is beautiful, and that's why we have two wonderful boys. This is Mateo and Luca, and you can probably see little Luca is a bit of our troublemaker. And in the background there, we have little Eli, their little brother. And so I just want to get in, like I said, to why I'm here. And my job's pretty simple. It's to make sure I'm seeing what you are entitled and qualified for. We have different governmental programs, state regulated carriers, patient medication assistant programs. And the 5 areas that I help out people with are prescriptions, dental, vision, hearing, and final expense programs. So I have a little checklist here, like I said, and pausing here, that is just the simple binder transitioning and building credibility. And now I'm going into my checklist. So what I like to do is I have a keyboard attachment that I actually use as my cover. And I like to turn the iPad sideways so that we're able to more efficiently collect the information. Now, the reason why we type all this information in is because it helps organize all of your clients' data and information so that later, as we continue to build this out, that information is more easily searchable. When you're writing with a pen on Notability, things like that, it's very disorganized and there's no way to search back in your notes efficiently. Whereas here, if a client calls you up in 6 months, you will actually be able to pull up their checklist. On top of the fact that we're building out more automations for advertising to clients, sending out birthday emails and texting reminders and all of those good things that we are currently working on and will be coming soon. And so once I transition out of the credibility section, I then will transition into our checklist. So Ms. Johnson, you said your first name was Sally, right? Okay, Johnson, awesome. And your date of birth was 8/8/1955. Awesome. And so you're 69 years young? Great. And it smells good in here. Do you smoke? No? All right, great. You're smart. And I'm going to, looking at this screen, put in the contact source that I actually knocked on the door with, right? The lead source. So let's say it was a dental. And then you can put in their height and weight. And we have a ratings calculator lower in the checklist where the height and weight is actually built in to that ratings calculator. So if you have an overweight client, it will actually show that. So let's say, for example, I put in that they're 5'5", 400 pounds. Down here, it's going to show that all of the carriers are denied except for CVS and Royal Neighbors, which are the only 2 carriers that don't ask about weight. And so we can scroll back up and reset this. And then, Ms. Johnson, I want to make sure I have your best contact information so that I can get in touch with you and give you information on any updates or things like that. Because as you know, a lot of these programs can change from year to year. Okay, great. Your phone number is 630 blank, blank, blank. Do you have an email address that's best? Awesome, no. And then you said the address here was 257 North Elson Street. Awesome, we'll save that. And then, are you receiving Social Security or disability? Okay, Social Security, and does that go into your checking or savings account, or do you still get on one of those little prepaid cards? Okay, great, checking. And then do you get your payment on the 3rd or the 3rd Wednesday every month? The 3rd. Okay, great. And then from here, you're able to ask them if they're receiving Medicare or Medicaid, and then ask about the different living benefits of RX, dental, and then hearing and vision plans. And so scrolling down, you can then go into the health conditions and the prescription review section. And so from here, this health underwriting button will actually show all of the core health screening questions that we want to ask to make sure that the client can properly qualify for final expense products. And so you have questions here like COPD, cancer, diabetes, and these are just questions that you would ask. What I always like to do is I say, and then Ms. Johnson, are you taking high blood pressure medications, high cholesterol? And they might say, oh yeah, I'm taking this and that. Okay, great. Why don't you just go grab those medications for me? Are you taking anything else besides high blood pressure, high cholesterol? Have you had any heart attack, stroke, cancer, diabetes? And at this point, they normally start to list off the different conditions that they have. And if they have diabetes, you can enter in no insulin and no complications. And if they had a heart attack, you can put if it's in the last 24 to 36 months or whatever it may be. And if you close out of this, you'll actually see the common condition prescriptions that are associated with these different health conditions. And so you can sound as a new agent a little bit more educated and professional to say, okay, you're taking diabetes medication. Is it gabapentin? Is it glipizide, insulin? And same with high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and all the other conditions we have listed. You'll be able to see those common prescriptions so that you can sound more professional. And so with that, when you select those medications, you can scroll down and see that they're preloaded in the prescription list, as well as you can search medications. So for example, if I selected donepezil, you'll see here that this is actually a guaranteed issue medication. So you can know while you're there in the house with Ms. Johnson that, hey, this medication is a red flag medication. We want to be careful of that. It's going to be a 2-year wait period, and you can assess at that point. So from there, you're going to be able to scroll down and see the estimated carrier ratings based off of the conditions that you entered. Now, again, this is an estimation. You still want to make sure that you call up to your manager. And that's why we actually created this screenshot mode. So I'll actually turn my iPad sideways here. And in the bottom right-hand corner, you'll see this little phone button that you can tap. And when you click this button, you'll see this mode where you can either screenshot on your iPad or take a picture of it with your phone to send to your manager in different manager in and up chats and things like that. And then here it shows the different conditions and details associated with that. It shows the medications and the typical reasons those medications are being taken, as well as estimated carrier ratings. So from there, you can go back and you have completed the checklist. So now what we're going to want to do is continue on to the policy review. So from here, we're transitioning into life insurance. And my transition is simply, I've already asked them how much they're paying for prescriptions, dental, vision, hearing, and then how much you're paying for your life insurance every month, Ms. Johnson. And so that then leads us into the policy review section, where you'll see at the top, in a similar way to the first section, the checklist section, you have your step 4 slides, which is for transitioning into life insurance. And so we have preloaded in here a bunch of different slides for that transition into life insurance. You can, in the same way as step 1, upload your own images or videos or PDFs here. But what we have pretty simply is, when it comes to life insurance, most people fit into one of 3 categories. We have the other providers versus top rated providers. We have term versus whole versus universal. So you can explain based off the client situation that you're facing. We have the final transition, which is that we're just going to do a policy review real quick, Ms. Johnson. Step 1 is we're going to just make sure your policy doesn't expire. Step 2 is to ensure your premium won't increase. And step 3 is going to see if you're entitled and qualified for any free discounts, free insurance, discounts, cashback, upgrades, or riders. And then at the top here, you'll also see we have a button which will display the different ratings of A, B, and C, as well as the UL video from ABC News describing the dangers of universal life insurance policies. So after you have transitioned out of this education section of transitioning into life insurance, we want to go into step 5, which is the policy review. So depending on the company they have, you can actually search the customer service numbers here at the top by clicking on this drop down and searching whichever company you would like. So I can just type in here Colonial Penn, and it's going to pop up Colonial Penn's customer service number, which I can then call with Ms. Johnson and simply say, yeah, I got it here, Ms. Johnson. We work with them often. I will give them a call really quick. And so now we're going to go into the policy review. And what you'll do here at the top is click on Add Policy. So if you are reviewing with Ms. Johnson, your primary contact, you can just click Select at the bottom of the screen here where you see Sally Johnson, relation is herself, and you can select that. Or if the client has multiple policies in the house on multiple different family members, you can enter in that family member's name here at the top so that you're able to separate all of these different policies and stay organized. So for the purpose of this illustration, we're just going to show Miss Sally Johnson. We'll select her. We can enter in the company. So Colonial Penn, awesome. The face amount, let's just say, is $20,000. Policy number is, we'll just make up a random policy number. Premium, let's say, is $75 a month. Effective date was, let's just say it was the 1st of May. She just got it. And it is in a graded period. It's in a graded period until May 1st, 2027. We'll save that. And she has no cash value, no loans or anything. And so we can just simply press save there. And what it's going to do is it's going to show that she's paying $75 a month here at the top, but she is only covered for $0 because she's in a graded policy and $20,000 of that is not covered. Right now, if I had not put in a graded policy, it would show the different coverages. But I really built this out because I'd be in houses with clients where they have 5, 6, 10 policies. And it was really confusing to see, all what they were paying in total versus how much coverage they were getting. And so this breakdown makes it very easy. And at any point in the presentation, you can click on the screenshot button in the bottom right, and it will open up the checklist where you can send it to your manager, and you'll see here that we have the existing policies in the household, and we have Sally Johnson's information, Colonial Penn, policy number, face amount, premium, when it's graded until, and we didn't put in the draft date, and then it's a whole life graded policy. So your manager can see all of those things when you send the screenshot to them in a very organized way. So you can enter in multiple policies here, and then once you have gathered all of the policy information, you can continue on to quote by either clicking in the top right-hand corner or by clicking at the bottom, continue to quote. And at any point, you can also click submit to managers, and your checklist and policy review information will also be emailed and texted directly to your manager as well. And so we will just click continue to quote. And here on the quoting page, we'll be able to see that we have a couple of different options. So the buttons here at the top have value summary, Better Business Bureau, and my licenses. First, we have the value summaries, and I'm going to turn this sideways here for this. And this is where you can build value with the client. So depending on what company you just did an in and up to your manager, hey, we sent you over the information. What company should we go with? Go ahead and shoot with Mutual of Omaha. Awesome. So Miss Johnson, Mutual of Omaha is one of the best, and it goes through all of the information about Mutual of Omaha. But if I want to click CVS Aetna, I can just choose from the drop down and you have it right there. So it's really easy to build value. And at this step, sometimes people need to continue to build trust as well. And that's why we have the Better Business Bureau certificate here, as well as in your settings, you can upload all of your different licenses so that you can display your license here as well, just to say, hey, Miss Johnson, if I was trying to take advantage or scam you here, this would be the worst scam ever. I'm licensed by the state. I'm here showing you my face. I'd rather just call you from another country if I was trying to do that. That's kind of the line I always say. And so you can close that out. And then you'll see here that because I already entered in a policy review for Sally, it has created a quote here. So all I have to do is click quote. And I can enter in her beneficiary names. So I can put in, let's say, Sally Jr. and Timmy, and she didn't have any cash value. If we had put in cash value, that cash value and reduced paid up amount would actually be preloaded here. So for the purpose of just showing our displaying of price, I will enter those in. Let's say the gold plan is for $30,000. For $130 a month, $100, and then $75, and we have $20,000 and $15,000. And then we'll click save, and then we can simply click display. And it's going to show gold, silver, and bronze. You have your beneficiaries there. And here at the top, you can see all of the ways that you can show your quoting views. So you have the standard view. You can add additional riders to the view. You can show cash value, You can show reduced paid up. You can show with only highlighting the benefits of the policies. And so you're able to show these to Ms. Johnson, and then from here, it's a simple close. Of these 3 plans, which one works best for you, Ms. Johnson? She says the silver plan. Great. Take a look at this. This is one of my favorite parts, Ms. Johnson. We can click select and confirm, and the confetti comes out. That's just a fun thing that they built into the software, my company, Ms. Johnson. So we're going to choose the silver plan. It's only $3 a day. It's less than a McDonald's meal. So it's really awesome that you're doing this for your family and setting this money aside. So all we have to do now is see if we can get you approved. Why don't you go ahead and grab your license real quick, Ms. Johnson. And from here, I'm able to go directly into the Mutual of Omaha e-app. So I clicked the company and it launches me right into Mutual of Omaha. As you can see, everything is preloading here. So I'll click done, exit out of that. And then from there, I can click finish. So after you've gotten the client approved, give them a big high five and make sure to download the insurance application so that we can upload that PDF to Broker 360 for accurate record keeping. So now let's jump into how you can actually log your sales so that it's auto-reported to your manager. It keeps all of your client data organized and in one place for more efficient client follow-up. So let's jump into how to log the sale. So what you're going to do simply here from the activity page, and I like to encourage my agents and my team to do this directly in the house. So all you'll have to do is click on log sale, and you have 2 options, a quick report or a full log. It only takes about 1 minute to log the sale, and I'm going to show you that here right now. So I'll click on full log, and you have 2 different contact types. If you do a presentation, that creates a contact which is a prospect, right? We're sitting down with 3 to 5 families every day. So it's a lot of information where we're not selling all of these prospects, right? And so that's why there's prospects. And then when you log a sale, it becomes a client. So I did a presentation for Sally Johnson. I'm going to click on prospect search right here at the top, tap her name, and it's going to preload in all of the information we already collected in the presentation. So all I have to do is choose today's date as the sale date. If I want to put in her email, I can there. Her address is automatically inputted. And all I have to do is click on add policy. She is the owner and the insured on the policy. So who is the insured? The owner, Miss Sally. I'll click on that. You can select whatever company it is. So Mutual of Omaha, the insurance type is whole life, product is living promise, and the rating is level. And so from there, if the policy was approved on the spot or issued on the spot, I could click issued, but normally it's pending. I would put in the premium amount, let's say $130 for $30,000. First draft date is going to be, I can click on the calendar here and choose, let's say the 15th, 2 days from now. And I can put in the policy number, BU blank, 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 and enter in as well the reoccurring draft date of the 1st of every month. And then I can click save, and that logs the policy, as simple as that. From there, I can enter any notes I would like to remember about the client. And I can upload here any images or PDFs that I saved. So like I was saying before, you want to download the client application from whatever carrier you've written and upload it here for your records later, as well as any photos, selfies, things that you want to upload for the client. You can upload images here. And from there, all you have to do is press submit. And then when you press submit, this pop-up comes up, which shows you the total annual premium you wrote, as well as the application count. And if you have thank you cards, the thank you card add-on enabled, you can send a thank you card from this screen. All you have to do is press send thank you card, and then it will ask you if you want to send the card. And all you have to do is press send card. I'm not going to do that here. And then you are done with the sale. So I'll press cancel, and it will take us back to the activity screen where you'll be able to see I wrote an annual premium of $1,560, and my estimated deposits, what I'm going to be advanced on that amount, is going to be $750 for that premium. And you'll also see here in the left-hand menu that we have a check-in notification. So if we click on that, we'll be able to see that in 2 days, if you remember, the client's first payment date was on May 15th. So 2 days before the client's first payment date, we generate these check-ins for the client, which is the first payment date reminder. So I'm going to hop over to my phone and show how that works for our follow-up system. So here in the check-ins tab, all I have to do is click the little message button, and it's going to generate a full text that all I have to do is press send, and this will send off to Sally reminding her of her first payment date. And this is one of many check-ins that get generated. So let me show you how to see those as well. If we go to our contacts, we'll see Sally Johnson here at the top. I can click on her name, and I can go into the check-ins tab and see how it has generated a first payment date reminder, approaching the client's birthday, which is 45 days before the client's birthday, one of the best times to follow up with the client and make sure that they don't want to add on more coverage before their birthday. They have the birthday reminder, and it actually tells us what age they'll be turning, and then a 3-month, 6-month, and 1-year follow-up policy reminder. And with each of these messages, they are asking for referrals and just checking in with the client to generate more business so that you can actually gain more from your book of business and help your clients in that way. Now, you can edit those check-ins from the client check-in section by simply clicking on templates. And on each one of these, you can click on the edit button and change or edit however you'd like the message that you are going to be sending to those clients on those specific dates. The next tool that we're going to be covering is the faxing tool. So this is a feature of the agent plan, which is $29 a month. And what you're able to do in each house is actually go in here, select the contact. So we'll select Sally Johnson. It has everything already preloaded. Who would you like to send this fax to? We can select Colonial Penn, and it will preload in Colonial Penn's number. Now, one thing that's super important, guys, we're trying to make everybody aware of right now, you can actually upload the surrender forms that you get from these companies. Some companies, if you're replacing their business, they require a specific surrender form. And so we are currently building out our insurance directory. So if you have a blank surrender form, you can click request a new form here, and you can upload that form so that everybody can use it. And you can use it the next time you come to this page and are dealing with that specific carrier. So if there are forms that are uploaded, you'll be able to see them here. And here's an example with American National. You can see forms available. You can view their surrender form. And if you were replacing American National, you'd be able to download that and fill it out right there with the client. And then what you can do is you can scroll down and you can upload that file here by clicking upload. Or you can select from a list of pre-made letters that we have of either canceling payment, reduced paid up, requesting reduced paid up or extended term, or to cancel their policy. And what these are going to do is generate a typed out letter where in the next page, you can select the policy. So we did a policy review with Colonial Penn, so we can select the policy from the list, and you can schedule the send date of the policy. So let's say if her policy starts on the 15th that we signed her up for, we would want to send the cancel policy letter on the 16th, the next day. And we can click continue. And when you're there with the client, you can have Miss Sally Johnson fill it out here. I have pretty bad handwriting. And then all you'd have to do is click finish and send, and that would send off the cancellation letter to the company. So once you have faxed off the necessary forms to the client, you've made sure that your check-ins are all set by logging your sale, you can come to contacts and view all of the policies that you have written. You have up here at the top, you can filter by clients or prospects. So I can click on Sally Johnson. I can see all of the contact information that we filled out for her. I can see the policies that we wrote for her. I can see the policies that we reviewed with her. And I can see any quotes that we went through with her as well. I can go to the notes tab and view any notes. I can view the check-ins there and any files that we uploaded. if I need to go back later and review her health information with her, if she wanted to add on coverage, all I have to do is click on this presentation button and it will take me back to the presentation screen with all of her information there. And then here at the top, you have the phone number icon right under her name, Sally Johnson. You have the message if you want to start texting them, or you have the send mailers button, which again, if you have the thank you cards add-on enabled, you can click this button and send off the thank you card and enroll them in reoccurring birthday cards, all right here from the app, very simply. And then the final two sections we're going to cover is the dashboard. So you'll be able to see the leaderboard so far that week and where you're stacking up against the rest of the competition, if you will, or the rest of your team. And you can also view your personal dashboard where you'll be able to see all of your personal sales information and things like that, as well as set monthly goals, or you can set weekly goals as well as far as knocking activity and see where you're stacking up for those. And then the final thing that we're going to cover is the policies section. This is a benefit of the agent plan where you're going to see all of your policies in an organized list so that you can make sure that you're following up accordingly. I built this section because I would get emails in the morning from this carrier and that carrier saying, hey, this client's policy had lapsed, and it might have been one policy of the 5 that I signed up for Miss Johnson for. It was her kid's policy or this or that. And so what you can do here simply is either search the insured's name, and this is showing a policy view, not a contacts view, because contacts, clients, if you will, they could be one client with 5 policies in the house for Miss Johnson, Mr. Johnson, and the 3 kids, right? Whereas policies, you want to make sure that you're dealing with them on an individual basis. And so I can view this here. If I get the issued email from Miss Johnson with Mutual of Omaha, I can click on issued. It'll ask what the official date was. I can say it was issued today and save that. And then let's say a month from now, I get a notice saying that Miss Sally's policy is lapsing. I can come in here and put in lapsing. And then come Friday or my admin day, I can go to my lapsing tab and view all of my policies that are lapsing so that I can go and follow up with the clients. So I can click on under the actions button. You have 2 options. One is sending the thank you card mailer right here, or you can go to the contact and I can view their information all right there. And then it'll take me back to the policies manager tab. So that's our general overview of the Broker 360 app. Like I said, I have built this out specifically. It started just for myself and my team. And so I've built a lot of really cool things into this app, like tracking your promotion, being able to set goals. And as you're using it, you'll probably find a lot of little things that I built in. I'm trying to think of everything to make it more efficient for us as we are selling ourselves, growing our teams, doing all those great things. The last thing I'm going to cover is actually just the settings tab. So in the bottom left-hand corner, you can click on settings. And from here, you can edit your profile information. You can edit your carrier slides. You can enter what carriers you have active and what's your path to prosperity promotion level. You can upload your licenses. You can access our referral program, how-to videos, leave us a review if you'd like, and view our roadmap and requests to see kind of the different things we have coming up. And at the bottom, you can text our support line if you have any questions. That goes directly to me. And I really appreciate when you guys reach out because it helps me understand the ways that we can make the app better. And if we make the app better for one person, it makes it better for everybody. So thank you so much for using the Broker 360 app. We have a lot of really amazing things coming that will help you build your teams, help onboard and train new agents, as well as help agents better reach out to clients with different automations and features. So we're making it better and better every day. So thank you so much, and I will talk to you soon.